This is really terrible. I should have brought more information with me into the studio, but I forgot it.
Tell you anything.
You can tell me anything?
Well, I'll tell you almost anything.
We're going to solve all the world's problems right here. Lainie Kazan is on the line, and how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you, Ken.
You are one of my favorite people to visit with.
Why, thank you. I kind of enjoy it myself.
Yeah, and you ain't too bad looking either.
Right, thank you.
I wish we were in the same studio doing this, but...
Well, we'll just imagine.
I may not be able to carry on here.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, I know that you're a fan of Porgy and Bess, aren't you?
I am.
Maybe this won't mean a thing to you, but yesterday we talked with William Warfield.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you know who he is?
Certainly do. He was in the original. He sang the title role, did he not?
He played the crippled beggar, I think, didn't he?
That's right. He played Porgy.
Okay.
In the original production.
See, there is a little tie-in here between yesterday and today, then.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
I want you not to have a tie-in, kid.
He's an instructor at the University of Illinois now.
Really?
Has been for 7 years, teaching voice, and he goes on the road on the weekends.
Yes, he also was in the original Showboat, I believe.
Right, he did Old Man River.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I know that you did some Porgy and Bess things.
I have, for years. I love Gershwin.
Wonderful things.
It's a wonderful score. It's like when you've sung Porgy and Bess or sung anything from that Gershwin has written. It's very hard to find anything that satisfies the soul as much.
Because there's a lot more than just surface stuff to Gershwin.
Well, it's such an exercise for the voice. I mean, it's such an it encompasses everything one can do. It stretches you.
Do you ever worry about, I don't know, I thought of this. Do you ever worry about losing your voice? I mean, that is the tool of your trade, isn't it?
I think about it, but then I put it right out of my mind. I had laryngitis once or twice in my life, and I found it to be very frustrating. I mean, it was devastating. I became irritable and maniacal. I don't react well when I lose my voice.
I had a thing all spring. It seemed like I had some kind of a thing, and I just couldn't get rid of it. It was just kind of like a head congestion or something. And
really?
It really depresses you after a while.
Doesn't it, when you can't communicate? It must be terrible.
Of course, wasn't it Shecky Green, I think, that lost his voice altogether for a while?
Oh, goodness, yes, it is. He did some sort of an operation, and I think something happened in the surgery that wasn't... it was kind of
something with
mistake.
Something with the vocal cords or so.
Yeah, I heard about that, but I think he's fine now.
Gee, this is interesting. We haven't touched bases for a while, and you have been busy, I'm sure. You're at the Playboy Club now, and that's what we ought to be talking about, because...
I am at the Lake Geneva Playboy Resort, which is the most fabulous place. I love coming here. It's a little... Eden, it's like a Garden of Eden. I know this is kind of like the heart of Playboy, It's not the soul of it or anything. It's kind of it's sweet. It's a sweet place. It's got...
Now be careful how you say that.
It really is, though. And it's got so much to do here. There's so many things that one can do. There's riding and
golfing and
all kinds of wonderful fitness center and wonderful food and wonderful people.
Skiing is not real good this time of year, as I understand
it. Really, no, but I was here at New Year's, and it was kind of wonderful at New Year's.
Yeah.
But I've been very busy for the last 9 months since I've seen you. And I've been doing a movie.
I want to talk to you about that. Tell us about it, will you?
Well, I've been doing a movie. It's Francis Ford Coppola's new film called One from the Heart. And it's very exciting. And the film is opening in October in about 900 theaters. And
I am a real Francis Ford Coppola fan. Or how do you say, Coppola?
Coppola.
Coppola. How did I get that right? Black Stallion was one of those motion pictures I thought was just wonderful.
He produced that, but this film he directed and produced.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Like he directed The Godfather.
Exactly.
He directed Apocalypse. And he's directing this film.
To be in one of his films is a real honor, I think.
I believe so. I think I died and went to heaven. It's been the greatest artistic experience of my life.
Now, this is terrible, but what's it called again?
One from the Heart.
And that'll be out when?
October.
Okay. Well, definitely have to watch for that. There have been so many blockbuster movies out lately that Hollywood has sort of picked up and everybody's taking notice.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very special movie. Really special.
Who else is in it with you, Lainie?
Frederick Forrest, who is the star of The Rose. Let's see, the male star of The Rose. Nastasia Kinski from Tess.
Was she the young gal? Okay.
Terry Garr, who is, she's a wonderful actress. She was in Close Encounters. A gentleman by the name of Raul Julia, who's a New York actor, who will be seen in several films next year. And Harry Dean Stanton, a wonderful character actor, and myself. There's 6 of us. And it's a real special movie.
Now, when you get a script for a film like that, you look through it and you have a pretty good idea how the whole story goes, don't you?
Pretty much, although when you work with a man like Francis Coppola, the script changes from day to day. I mean, by the time we started our first day of shooting, we were on the 8th script.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we kind of write as we go along, and it's a very creative process from everybody. You know, it's not just the writing, but everybody contributes, and the part becomes part of you.
He's unlike Alfred Hitchcock then, because Hitchcock used to believe in doing everything in his head ahead of time. By the time the script was written and by the time they actually started shooting, he considered the movie 95% completed.
Really? Well, we didn't work like that at all. We've been on this film for 9 months. And I thought it would never end.
Now, where is the shooting taking place?
It took place in Los Angeles at the Zoetrope Studios, which is in Los Angeles. And Francis rebuilt Las Vegas on the set. We have a duplicated version of downtown Las Vegas.
So when you see Las Vegas in the movie, that's not it?
That's correct. But he did it because the movie is very surreal, and he wanted to be able to control the light and the weather.
Now, very surreal. You're throwing me here. This is, it has a definite mood, you mean, of its own?
It's almost not real. It's surreal. It gives you you get a feeling other than you would get if you were really in a set from Las Vegas.
Let me grab a dictionary here and look up the word surreal, okay?
All right.
You're going to throw those big words at me. You're really going to make me feel stupid.
A bit distorted.
Okay. And
kind of like Fellini-ish.
Something that you really have to control to get the mood then, and you wouldn't be able to do that in Las Vegas.
Exactly. So that if you want to see Las Vegas being all red, you couldn't do that in Las Vegas.
I see.
But he could light the entire set and have a red Las Vegas.
Okay. Well, it's expensive to build Las Vegas.
It was $9 million.
For the set?
For the set.
Whew.
Yeah.
Wow. Lainie Kazan is our guest this morning. I want to break for a commercial. We'll be right back.
All right.
Lainie Kazan is with us this morning, and last time we talked, Lainie, we talked about a trend for people, I guess, in what they were doing with their time. A lot of folks were staying home more, it seemed like. In fact, there was a story yesterday that indicated that Atlantic City was losing money, and some of the places, some of the hotels that they intended to build are not really going to take shape.
I've heard that myself. It is quite difficult to get people to come out of their homes, and home entertainment is being sold so reasonably, and everything else is so bloody well expensive.
Well, is it really that reasonable that to say if you have a video recorder, for instance, and you buy a film, it's like $60, $70? You know.
You can see it often.
Well, I suppose that's true. You just finished in Las Vegas with Don Rickles.
I did.
What were the crowds like there?
This was terrific. I mean, it was great. But I've heard that it hasn't always been like that, but we must have caught it at a good time. But there are a lot of reviews now, I think, and people don't want to spend the money to see a Lainie Kazan or a Tony Bennett or Lena Horne when they can see them on television, I guess, so they can buy a video cassette of their performance. And it's kind of sad to me. I think that will change. I really do. I think it's the economy. Things are so terrible, and people are feeling it, and they're frightened of spending their money. I mean, they don't ever think they'll have it again. Yeah,
and yet when some really good entertainment's around, like yourself, I would say, people are going to come out and see you.
I hope so. Like, we've been packed here since I've opened, and it's really been a joy for me to sing here. So, and I haven't had that problem myself. I haven't sensed it, but I hear that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I've heard from other people that it's not really busy during the week, that it's mostly weekend traffic in Las Vegas and in Atlantic City.
But shows like, well, I don't know if it's still out there, but Hallelujah Hollywood.
Now all those reviews seem to be working. Now, I was just talking to the manager of this establishment who feels that it's not just a review that can work, that you need name entertainment to be brought into a place to enhance the client, enhance the place. The clientele changes. It becomes different from week to week according to who you have in your nightclub. Mm-hmm. It changes the population of the hotel.
That has to be making it extra tough then for new people who are starting out.
I'm sure it must. I haven't even heard of too many new people starting out unless they're recording artists.
Mm-hmm. And even then, if you talk about this, we were down in Nashville 2 weeks ago. I sound like I almost travel as much as you do, and I know that's not true. But they were telling us that recording artists really have to depend on those concerts to make the big dollars. They don't get all that much money from an individual record.
And the recording business is suffering too. I was talking to several producers who feel that the people who have money are people between the ages of 30 and over.
Oh, they got that wrong.
You think most of the people are younger?
I don't know, but I fit in that category, and I wouldn't say that we had most of the money.
People who perhaps will have it to spend.
Yeah.
And those are the record-buying people, and yet they're not making records for those people.
That's a good point. Good point.
They're making records for kids, and the kids don't have the money to buy the records. The records are very expensive.
And that's why you have folks like Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet coming out with Parker and Penny, trying to get played on the radio.
Sick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hear there's a new trend that's going to be happening, and that a lot of adult music will be recorded and played. So it's exciting for me to hear that, because, people who are 30 or 35 years old were buying records 15 years ago. They were very big record purchases.
Exactly.
And they never stopped that habit. Most of those people have huge record collections, and they're lacking material. They miss the material that they can buy of the artists they love.
And now with these new digital recordings and things,
incredible.
Yeah, it is going to be incredible. People are going to want to restart over.
The film industry really feels that video is going to take over the entire industry. That there will be no more film. It'll all be done on tape.
How are they going to look for the day then when people are not going to go to the theater?
No,
to watch movies?
Movies will be made much more reasonably, so that it'll be much easier to put film in theater, but it won't be film. It'll be done on videotape.
And then maybe with a laser beam on the screen or something, huh?
Unbelievable, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very near. I mean, it's coming in a minute. And it happens to be a reality from all the filmmakers that I can have talked to in Los Angeles, that they really feel that the expense to make, a $23 or $33 million picture. And these albums, too, I mean, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 for an album, it's insane.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't think that the major expense is in film itself, though, would you, for a movie?
It is, because the film is very expensive, and the process to convert and edit. And on tape, it can be done with all kinds of these wonderful machines that they have. Mm-hmm. And film has always been a much more artistic way of dealing with that visual art.
So once it's filmed, then they have to make copies to send to all the different theaters, and that gets expensive.
Expense.
I see.
So I guess in tape costs, the cost will go down by millions of dollars.
Well, I just hope the quality doesn't suffer.
I do too. That's what I think they're working on.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, isn't it?
You really have your irons in all sorts of fires.
It's called growing.
It's called being busy, I think. And that's what a lot of folks aren't these days. So you're lucky.
Well, I have a lot of interest, and my career has taken turns only from where I've been educated. My life has been very interesting because, originally I went to college and I was an acting major. I never had a chance to really use all my knowledge or my talent in that area. And as the years have progressed, I find myself leaning towards areas that I knew and were comfortable in, and that I want to be closer to myself, Mm-hmm. And I've taken little, left turns and right turns, and I feel as though I've accomplished a lot, and I've grown, and I'm delighted for my experiences. I'm really thrilled that I've been able to manage nightclubs and deal with hotel people and work in television and record and sing to people in a live audience. And now is the one area I haven't really experienced is film, and I'm just thrilled with it. So I don't want to ever stop singing, though. That I could never do.
Do you find that any part of your life is always lacking that you'd like to change? It sounds like you really are in control of things, but at the same time, I know if you're really busy, maybe you're not a homebody person. I know you have a daughter, don't you?
I do. She's 10.
Yeah. But do you ever feel like you just would like to stay home and say, hey, forget all this stuff, but now you got all these commitments, you really can't just sit back and...
Once in a while I do, but then I think, oh, how boring. I would like to eventually,
You don't really crave the days of doing the laundry and...
No, but I crave the days of sitting around my house and watching somebody else do the laundry. No, I've never been into laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I like to iron. Shirts are my specialty.
Uh-huh.
But I would like to, find me some Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Right, and have a comfortable life where I don't need to do what I'm doing, but in fact that I do it because I love it and enjoy it, and it's not for financial gain, but it's for artistic rewards. I think I'd be much freer to try things and to accomplish what I want to do in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, the reality is that that's not what makes me comfortable. I haven't been able to. I'm a doer. I have to do it for myself.
We're about out of time here, Lainie. Unfortunately, it goes by so quickly. But you are at the Playboy Club now through,
The 20th.
20th of the month.
Yeah, I'm in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
And not in the lake itself, but at the...
in the town.
It's hot enough today, you could almost be in the lake.
I have to admit that I haven't been out yet. It's not very pretty out today.
Anyway, Lainie, all the best with the career. We'll watch for the show.
Thank you.
Coming in October, and we'll try to catch you in Lake Geneva.
I hope so. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Okay.
All right.